welcome to Real Talk Wrestling. We got some technical difficulties. That was not on me, Chris. That was not on me at all. I learned something today, though. If you switch from tab to tab, it'll just put you back. That's all I did. I've never done that before. So that's anyway. We are here live Thursday night. We're going to review some AEW wrestling news. We have some trouble in paradise, the women's locker room. We have my son trying to ask me a question live on air. Yes, son, what do you need? He can't hear the TV without headphones, guys. Hey, buddy, why don't you get your Nintendo Switch and your headphones, and then you can watch it that way, okay? Problem solver, Josh. Yes, we're going to talk about the women, the women's locker room. We're going to talk about finally 4 matches booked for All In. I think you sent me all 4 matches, or somebody sent me all 4 matches. Did you? No? Chris, can you hear me? Oh no. Did we lose Chris?
Oh, I think we're freezing a little bit here.
Nope. You haven't froze. You were doing this. You're like,
I was looking because you were frozen there for a second.
Okay, cool. So we're unfrozen. So let's get right into it, Christopher. The first topic on our list tonight, if you're still here, we didn't lose you, hopefully. Technical difficulties. We had a freaking run-in, right? Backstage. Here he comes, run-in. And then we got frozen here. But we're going all the way back to Dynamite 200 because we were there. That's why we didn't do this show. We were there. And it was a blast. It was cold, as in I had air condition.
Yes.
I was able to get a snack because there was more than one concession line. But I still couldn't get into the building like a regular person until like 40 minutes before the show. And I heard that's an AEW thing. What's the deal? Why do you have this?
What do you mean you couldn't get into the building like a regular person?
So like Amalie Arena, right? Lightning Games, 2 hours before the show, before puck drops, you can go in. Tropicana Field, 2 hours before first pitch, you can go in. Any kind of event you go to, it's like always 2 hours before you go in. Tony Khan in AEW, apparently, they don't open the doors until like 30 minutes before the show starts. Yeah, they didn't.
No, doors were at 6:30, and the show started at 7:30.
No, they weren't. I was there at 6:30. You were not. I beat you there. And they were telling us, yes, we usually open, blah, 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 but we can't officially open until we are told. And it was like 6:40, and I was just standing there.
Oh, my goodness, 10 minutes. Well, also, the other thing is you were stubborn about it and wanted to go into the main entrance. And I tried to tell you to go to the back door entrance where there was no line and no wait.
Okay.
I walked right in. It was so funny. I walked in, we parked our car, we looked, there probably had to be a few hundred people in line. I mean, it was wild. At least 500 people in line waiting to get in, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was told, my buddy Andy, shout out to Andy, text me. He says, hey, when you see that big line in the front, I want you to walk right past it like you're heading for the baseball field and just keep walking around and walk in. There's no wait there. And we did exactly that. And even though they had announced it and some people left and ran off over there, there was just as many openings, like doors and turnstiles there, as there was at the main entrance. So even when that group of, like you said, 100 people ran off, they were all gone by the time we got there. So there was no wait. I just walked right in.
So here's the story. I walked up, I waited. I'm like, I'm going to get there early. Like, I'm going to get in. I'm going to walk around, enjoy myself. I get there, of course, longest line of all time. And I'm standing in this line. I'm like, okay, because whatever. I'm like, it's 6:30. They got to open the door soon. So I started standing in line. Then by the time I get to the freaking front of the building, like right there, like up the stairs, I'm in. The announcer goes, we opened up all these doors back here. We opened up all these doors. Half the line ran. And I'm like, I'm in jeans. I don't know if this place is going to have air conditioning. I'm not running. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not running. Because by the time I run over there, I'd already be in the building.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. Anyway, bitch, we're like old men bitching about the event, but it was a good
I thought it was
time.
great. I thought it was awesome. Like you said, and for anyone that doesn't understand about the AC, two things. It is scorching hot here in Florida right now, unbearably hot. And the last AEW show that me and Josh went to, the AC, I will never forget this. It did not kick on until 9:55 p.m. 5 minutes to go in the show. And I know this because the AC unit was right over our head and it kicked on and we felt a breeze for the first time at 9:55. So I actually asked my buddy Andy, I said, does this place have good AC unit? Like, I need to know because the last AEW show we went to, there was no AC. And it was so bad.
It was one of the hottest.
It was like a Bizarro show because remember everything was flipped backwards too on the stage and everything. Everything was weird about that show.
Let's talk about it, man. The stage setup was nice on AEW 200. They had the old stage back, which I noticed maybe halfway through the first match, or maybe the dark matches. I'm like, whoa, look at that! The entrances are different. That's cool. I like it. Weird card, the weirdest card, and in AEW last night was a weird card. It's like Tony Khan is just booking nonsense, but it works out because the matches are awesome. Like, and everything is still a banger. So, I mean, even though everything's like, why are we doing best friends and then, Penta and all BCC? Why? I don't know. And then that AEW 200 is what started it pretty much. And then all of a sudden it went to Rampage. Now they're doing it again on Dynamite again. Now that's a feud. And all started on pretty much 200. It was a weird card, but fun times.
Yeah, I thought it was a great show overall. We had some really good matches. But I know whenever we saw this show, we thought that we were going to be really kicking off a lot of we were going to be right in the middle of some storylines because we're used to AEW storylines running for several weeks or months. So we're like, perfect. We're going to be right in the thick of it. But like you said, we were kind of the start of a lot of it. The first match was announced there officially, and yeah, some of the stories that we're, I guess, going to see it all in were starting at Dynamite 200.
So another thing about live events, especially in wrestling, you never know really what's happening because the television broadcast is different. As in, when we saw Adam Cole sign the contract for the match, we're like, cool, sign the contract, cool, like whatever. They're gonna wrestle, okay. Who's gonna turn on who? That's pretty much what's in our heads. Whereas commentary is like, he didn't even read the contract. What did MJF put in there? It adds an extra wrinkle to the story, right? And I'm like, they said that? Like, they mentioned like what's in the contract and Cole just signed it not reading it. Like, damn, that's something we missed. Like, I don't know how you can get that over on, for the live audience, because we would have never known that wrinkle. Maybe we had to think about it in our head. But I do like the live events because goddamn, the wrestling looks so much better or cooler in live. It just does.
Yeah,
it just does. Everything. We had a good angle. We had a good seat. I really liked our angle.
Shout out to the guy that bought those tickets, whoever that was.
Yeah, that was a really good spot. I've never watched wrestling from that angle. I've always watched it from the 200 level, like facing the hard cam. Right? So you're watching it facing the hard cam.
Yeah.
So whenever they pose, you're like, you can't see them pose because they're posing towards a hard cam. So I've never sat wrestling looking at the entrance. It was a weird angle because
I was going to say, I've done that a couple times now where I've sat in that angle. I just really like it because you have everything in front of you, I feel like.
Yeah, you do. You have the entrance, you have the wrestling. The only thing you don't have is they never look at you because they're looking at the hard cam or they'll look at the other side, but they never look this way. And not that I need them to look at me, but what I'm saying is, like, it's weird when they're like doing the yay, boo, and all you see is the back of Jon Moxley. You're like, what the fuck's that? Is the other guy? Oh, yeah. But that is kind of anyway. What else can I say about AEW 200? Were you surprised that we did get the RVD? Were you surprised that we did get Christian Cage before the show to cut a promo on us for no reason other than he lives here? Like, no one else knew it happened. Like, I don't, it was probably the best part of the night, in my opinion. It was my favorite part.
Of course, it was your favorite part.
It was.
No, it was good. It was good for his character work. And I was thinking about it too. I was like, that really should have been on TV. Like that would have been good to be on TV right there because he's really good at being a heel. I was shocked by RVD being there because I hadn't read anything or saw anything. So I had no clue that he was going to be there. So that was exciting for me because, I try to be on Twitter some to keep up with news, but lately I try not to be on it too much just because I like to still be surprised. And if you're on it too much, you're never surprised anymore because everything gets released ahead of time. So I was glad that I didn't see any spoilers on that.
Yeah. So let's get into the RVD thing. We're gonna skip some. I'm sorry, producer Chris. You put this magical list together.
Yeah, I didn't put an order though. Chop it up.
Okay. Yeah, good. So I'm gonna go right into RVD in 2023 because I added to this. Why didn't it main event? Like, why this should have been the main event of last night's show, by far. This was RVD, a legend, a Hall of Famer, someone that's honestly, he's more famous than half that roster put together. Whoa, you're not liking the RVD match? Okay, all right.
Well, as a main event,
the main event of okay, all right. What else on that show last night was what should have main evented?
Listen, just based off of the match type, you got to put your champions on last. If there's a championship match, it's got to go last.
Chris,
what do we talk about? No. We've talked about this. You got to make your championships feel important by making them go last. If they go in the middle of the card, they don't feel important. It devalues them. Tony Khan has put the women's championship in the main event 2 weeks in a row.
There's a reason for that. And we'll get to Lufisto soon. There's a reason why he's doing that. And then that sign there's a reason. It's very, very in your face. We're going to prove you wrong. You're going to attack our women's division. We're going to run it down your throat 2 weeks in a row. And I expect it again 3 weeks in a row.
Good.
No, not
they
good.
Deserve it.
Anna Jay. First off, if you really want me to get into this right now, I will, because this is the most infuriating, illogical, dumb, moronic, fatal four-way tournament bullshit I've ever heard. Why are we having three qualifying matches where Toni Storm doesn't have to qualify because she's enforcing her rematch clause? Okay, she does the champion. Yep. Why does she have to qualify?
That made no sense when I saw that. The only person that should have a bye is the champion. Like, she gets the automatic bid to be in the match. And since when is there a rematch clause in AEW?
Never.
I've never heard that. Like, I was really confused. I'm like, what show am I watching right now? Is this Raw or is it AEW?
So they are forcing the women's division down our throats. And on top of that, it's illogical. It's nonsense. It doesn't make any sense. And you're going to have a fatal four-way tournament bullshit. Okay, how about this? How about you don't book Britt Baker versus Bunny? I wonder who's going to win. How about you don't book Saraya versus Sky Blue? I wonder who's going to win. Even Anna Jay versus Shida. Do you think Anna Jay had a chance?
No, Shida was not dropping the title that fast.
What she is dropping it at Wembley, but you can't force something down our throats and go, hey, it's bad. We're not really putting any effort into it. There's no logical reason for any of this to happen. But hey, it's going to main event. And hey, where's the story? There's still no substance to this story. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing makes sense.
No, they do. They need to work on that for sure.
So don't put these main event matches. Our FTW title, RVD, Jack Perry. That was the bigger match. Whether you want to think it or not, it was the bigger match.
Unsanctioned, unrecognized title.
It's recognized. They had a freaking graphic. I saw the title. Like, they literally did it like on
is it going to be in their history and their lineage of championships of AEW?
I do think it's recognized. I think it's a recognized title.
I don't think it is. Not by AEW.
I think it is. And it's a championship match. We've seen the IGWP bullshit title defended in the main event with Kenny Omega. We've seen that. So they can defend other titles. So you're saying, oh, hey, this AEW women's match that doesn't make any sense is going to be our main event, but we have Rob Van Dam versus our new hot heel that we want to push. That was a poor decision making because of a petty owner who wants the internet to go, I booked it, but shut the fuck up, Tony Khan. You fucked up your ratings because of this. Nobody stayed around for that. I didn't watch it. I turned it off.
Yeah.
Why would I
would.
watch? I would. I didn't watch 1 second of it. Didn't see one highlight. Do not care. You know what I would have done? I would have watched that match if it opened the show. I would watch that match if it was at the 8:30 slot. I would have watched that match if it was a 9 o'clock slot. And guess what? And I would have stuck around for RVD and Jack Perry.
No.
Straight up. Like I would have.
Okay. Fair enough.
You lost a lot. I bet you when the ratings come out, it's going to be an all-time low for them in that final quarter. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. But RVD, I think he looked fine. I think he looked good. Not great.
I thought he looked okay.
Yeah, I mean, he looks better than Matt Hardy.
Good considering his age and everything he's been through. But, compared to some of the other guys, I think he looked okay.
Like, okay, so he's around the same age as Matt Hardy, maybe. I'm guessing. I'm not sure. Like, look at that Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy match. That was way worse. They're washed, right? They're like Julio Jones on the Bucks washed. For real. Like, he's, bad. They are both bad. And I don't want to see him on television ever again. Like, that was it. That's my final straw for them. There was one spot where Jeff Hardy forgot the clothesline. One of the I think it was Matt Jackson over the ropes. Matt did it, and Jeff's like, "Oh shit!" And like, he ran and like clothesline nobody. Did you remember that spot?
I did not see that. I saw where it looked like Jeff fell off the top rope though.
Yeah,
in a way that he wasn't supposed to. I wanted to go back and watch that. Did you catch that one?
I did not catch it. I heard about it though.
Yeah, it was just like you could tell, like when he jumped off the top rope, it was not it would look like if me and you attempted to jump off the top rope. Like it wouldn't look good. It wouldn't look like a smooth wrestling move. And it looked like he just slipped and fell. It looked more like a Matt Sydal thing than it did a wrestler thing.
All right. Yeah, so listen, it is what it was. Jack Perry, got the win. It was a very important win for Jack Perry. He is growing on me as a character. I do like the cowardly heels that think they're tough. That's one of my favorite heels. I truly believe he needs Anna Jay. He needs like that super hot chick next to him, and he hides behind her, or he uses as a shield, or she helps him win matches cheaply. Like he needs something like that because he can't continue to win these matches like this. He needs someone else to play his better half.
Yeah, I definitely think that would be good for both of them right now. Because I hear she might be looking for work, looking for someone else. Now that she's not in another group, potentially. But we'll get to that, right?
Do you want to get to there now? You want to get to JAS breaking up?
Let's do it. JAS, the long overdue split.
Or is it? It's open. It's open. Like it's open for, we've seen so many times where, Daniel Garcia is going to the BCC. No, he's back. Or, Sammy Guevara is out of the he wore the vest last inner circle. Oh, now he's back in the JAS. They've done it so many times. And Sammy Guevara left the door open. Hey, like, I love you. You helped me out so much. Yada, yada, yada. Like, I'm not leaving you. I'm letting you to make the decision, right? Like, that's pretty much how Sammy left. He didn't say I quit. He didn't say I'm leaving. He just said, hey, man, it's up to you. Like, you need to figure this out. And Jericho said he's making his decision next week. I don't think this is over. I think they're getting back.
Why? This group has run its course. There's nothing for them to do.
I think you're wrong.
What is there to do? The whole basis of that group was to make fun of Vince McMahon.
And they can, because Vince is back and WWE is worse off. And a baby face, goofy JAS, I think would work. And I don't want it to work. Listen,
I feel like this is weird because I feel like a couple of weeks ago, you were right there with me saying, and with everyone else, when we were all saying it was time for this group to end. And now,
I know.
Now you're saying you want to see him stick around?
You got Daniel Garcia with his dance. It's mega over. Love it.
Yes.
You got Sammy. Yep. You got Sammy. He wasn't doing that stuff like 2-3 months ago. He wasn't on. He was just in the background, never on TV. And then you have Daddy Magic and your boy Will Parker, Cody Parker, Peter Parker. Cut pretty good promo. They cut really good promos. They showed what they can do. This tag team division's finally getting going. We have tag teams coming in. They could be a solid tag team as well. And then you have, Jericho. He's been heel for how long? He likes to bounce back and forth. This is his babyface run. Like he started in the company as a heel, then he turned babyface, then he went back heel. Now he's going back babyface. I can see it happening. I don't see him. I don't see him playing second fiddle to someone like Takeshita. I think he's a alpha and he's a leader at the end of the day, and he's not a follower.
But if he were to go with them, I mean, Takeshita is not going to be on the mic, right? So you could have Chris be the mouthpiece. Along with Don Callis, you could have two of them.
I like to hear Don Callis over Chris Jericho these days.
I would too. But I could see where the two of them could just be, I don't know. I think they could have a unique dynamic there with both of them going. Running their mouth, maybe that essential, like I feel like it could start off where they're kind of feeding off each other, but then they get annoyed because they're the same person and they're both way too mouthy and talk too much, and it starts to get on each other's nerves or something when it comes time to break them off. So I could see where that one could work for a little bit. And I'd rather in 2023 right now, I'd rather hear more Chris Jericho than I would want to see. Let me see Takeshita instead in the ring, right?
So do you think this is going to set up a Takeshita Jericho match at Wembley? Or do you think it's still because if he says no to Don Callis, I mean, he's going to send his boy on him to sick him, get him, beat him up.
Yeah.
Or is this a situation where he is getting beat down and then you see Kenny Omega come out and rescue Chris Jericho, and then they have Will Ospreay get back involved because he was involved with Callis before, and then now you have a tag team match, Will Ospreay and Takeshita versus Jericho and Omega.
I don't know, like 3 out of 4 of those names I think would be really exciting in a match together. And I don't know, do I want it could go either way. I could see it going the Jericho Takeshita route more than the other route. Because I feel like you don't want to burn up Kenny Omega in a tag match at Wembley. I would think you would want him in a high profile one-on-one. I really wish they would do him versus Ospreay again. Although I know they just did it. But I would love to see that again. Because let me just say this now. I'm going to try once again to buy a pay-per-view. I'm going to try. I don't know that I'm going to have any success. It's probably going to be worse off than the others because I'm sure there's going to be more people buying this pay-per-view. But I am going to try and buy this one. So I'm really hoping that they put Kenny Omega in a high-profile singles match, whatever they decide to do.
When you buy the pay-per-view on a Bleacher Report, can you watch it later? Like, do you have 24 hours to watch it? Or is it you can only watch it live? I don't think he's here. I think he's frozen. Oh, he's back. Did you hear my question? So if you buy it on Bleacher Report, can you watch it anytime for 24 hours, or do you have to watch it live and that's it?
I think I can watch it for up to 24 hours. I think.
Because I'm going to buy this pay-per-view. I'm going to buy it. But what scares me, it's going to be on a Saturday or Sunday. I forget what day. Probably like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't want to commit to when I watch pay-per-views, I want to eat some chicken wings, like chill, eat an edible, just fucking watch it. But I can't do that at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So yeah. I want to buy it, and I want to somehow avoid the internet all day and just probably watch it like at 8 o'clock at night. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe so if you do have a problem and it doesn't show up, you can be like, I'll just watch it later. That's why. Yeah.
I'm wondering if I could also just watch it the next day too. If I can just avoid the internet all day Monday. Although if it's only 24 hours, it's going to cut out in the middle of the day.
See, these damn London shows.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. We already covered that. Oh, do you want to go over the All-In card now? It's the most important thing. We should have done that first.
We can start to touch on it. I mean, we don't have a full card, just the fact that, like we were talking earlier, they finally have some matches on there.
Yeah, what we talked about, though, was Kenny Omega and how we want to use him, and you don't want to burn him. But my question to you is, filling out this card, we'll go over it real quick. MJF versus Cole for the title. FTR versus the Bucks for the titles. Tag team for no reason, but I'm in for it.
So let me just say the last one on there is not official yet.
I know it's not official yet,
Okay.
but it's pretty much official. Darby and Sting versus Swerve and AR Fox. I would prefer Darby and that kid, but I guess that kid is second match ever isn't going to be in Wembley, so it makes sense. But whatever. I'm not. See, you're not excited about a tag team match with Omega if that's possible. I'm not excited for Sting ever anymore. Just not. But I'm excited for Swerve and Darby and AR Fox. How the hell did AR Fox just show up and get a Wembley match? Isn't that crazy? Where's Keith
Yeah.
Lee? Keith Lee's been there for how long?
Yep.
Where's Miro?
Nowhere to be seen. Didn't he like come back and then now like he's missing again? Now that you mention that, I haven't seen him on Collision in a while.
Where's Malachi Black?
They'll be on there eventually.
Yeah, but AR Fox, he's a nobody. I just can't believe that he's in a match with Sting. Hey, good for AR Fox. Like I like him. I like watching him. I just can't believe someone like him. If you look at the card and you see how it's shaping up, because think about it. Why are Chuck and fucking Trent and why are they on TV so much right now? They haven't been on TV in years.
Yeah.
Why are they on TV? Because they're going to be on the card.
Yeah, they're going to work them into a match on the card.
Because it's All In. They were the first All In. I think they want to get like any original they have possible on this show somehow, some way. And I think that's pretty cool. I was thinking about, I was watching this match last night and I'm like, God, fucking best friends, man. Like if you just lost Chuck, if it was just Trent and Orange Cassidy and you lost Chuck, I could somewhat believe. I really could. But when Chuck's standing there with he's never lifted a weight in his life, never been to the gym, doesn't even know what a protein powder looks like or where to find it, doesn't even know like.
So you just want him to be a big sweaty dude and then you're fine.
Just be believable. Like Trent's over here, your best friends, right? Go fucking work out with Trent. The guy's shredded. At least Orange Cassidy has some muscle tone on him. He doesn't have muscles, but he has tone.
If you remember, though, Trent wasn't as shredded until he got injured. Remember when before he went out? I don't know if you remember that because you weren't watching as much then. He got shredded when he was in recovery mode.
I watched Being the Elite, all of them, every episode. I knew Trent before you did. Trent was on Being the Elite. That's how I knew Trent. And he was shredded back then. He was shredded he wasn't as shredded during the probably beginning stages of AEW. He's shredded now.
Yeah, not in the beginning.
But he was shredded during Being the Elite because he was always in the mirror flexing like an idiot. But just get rid. Oh, and by the way, real life Orange Cassidy, like when I saw that man, I am 1,000% confident, 1,000% that I could pick him up off the ground and slam him 10 feet in the air. Like just throw. I'm confident I could do that. I'm just saying. Just saying.
That would have been something to watch right there.
He is tiny. Oh my God. He's like 120 pounds. All right, we're losing it. We're losing it, Chris. Did I say CM Punk and Samoa Joe? That is a match that's not confirmed, but we pretty much know that's where it's going. Are you excited for that? Like again?
Well, see, I didn't really watch they're talking about, our last match ended this way and we had our first match here. And I haven't really kept up with their story to really know the legacy of their story. So not as excited, but I think it'll be good. Samoa Joe matches are always really good. So I think so far with what we have on the card from last week when we walked into Dynamite and had nothing on the card to what we have this week, I think so far I'm good with the 4 matches that we have so far.
And then you also have to add the Fatal 4-Way.
Yes. Which we'll see how that goes.
Women's match. Well, come on.
So, I mean, what we're essentially going to get, it's Toni Storm, Sheeta, Britt Baker, and Saraya.
Yeah. Real quick. Who wins that match?
Who wins it? You already said Sheeta's losing it.
She's losing it. She's transitional champion. They didn't want Toni Storm to be pinned in over there.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like it needs to go back to Britt Baker because that's whenever the women's division felt at its best. But I'm wondering if they're going to put it on Saraya because of where they're at.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
just to get a massive pop.
I think so. I really think Saraya wins the title there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
That would be really terrible for Sheeta, who had to be the COVID champion that nobody got to see live barely anyone got to see live. Because now I think the pay-per-view I went to is when they first started letting fans back in, and that's when she lost it to Britt Baker. So I don't think she's really gotten to defend it much in front of fans. And so she's a transitional champion. That would just be terrible.
I also think that the Bucks win the tag team titles back from FTR. I think they're taking it from FTR, but I think MJF retains. I just want to say that. Oh, there's a fifth match, sixth pre-show match. Adam Cole, baby, and MJF are fighting Aussie Open for the ROH champ. Or is it Aussie Open? No, yes. It's the other guys. No, is it Aussie Open?
Yep.
I'm sorry, I don't watch ROH. That's going to be an awesome match.
Come on, they had a title defense at Dynamite 200.
I know, Chris. I didn't.
It was the cool-off match, but
it was the cool-off match. Like that's the match where I'm like, all right, let me check on Twitter real quick. Let me see what's going on.
Yeah.
But yes, like that's the match that's going to mean so much. I think we see, we'll get into the turmoil of Adam Cole and MJF right now. Actually, we'll see Roddy Strong involved in that match, maybe. Do you think MJF turns heel or Adam Cole? You got to call your shot now. Someone's turning.
I still really like what we came up with is what should happen. Now, I don't know if it will happen, but I like what we come up with, which is that Adam Cole's, is talking with Roderick Strong and this guy, listen, I told you don't worry about it. I'm just using him right now or whatever comes up with. And then MJF hears that, gets really upset because he thought Adam he had a real friend. And then before Adam can turn on him, he turns on Adam. That's the way it has to happen. That would be the best way for it to happen.
So we saw MJF blow up on Roddy last night and make fun of him, and Cole got pissed. This is the first time Cole actually pushed back and was like, "Hey, stop! Like this is too far. He's my friend too." And MJF was very upset, very upset. So people are like, "Oh, he's mad." Hold on, this is where our storyline comes into play. He's mad because he stuck up for Roddy and blah, 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 blah. So MJF's already going to turn, right? That's what everyone's thinking. Oh, MJF's already going to turn. He's not mad. He's jealous. Roddy's jealous. MJF is now jealous because now he has to compete with Roddy. So when he does hear Adam Cole say, calm down, Roddy, me and MJF will put this, whatever he's going to say, where he's going to slip up. Like, in Shrek, whenever Princess Fiona says that she's hideous, but Shrek thinks that she's talking about him, and they all get mad. You probably haven't seen Shrek in a long time. I watch it every day.
I know what you're talking about. I've seen it enough times.
So that's going to happen where Adam Cole says something out of context. MJF hears it. The jealousy is now overblown, and that's why. Jealousy. And how do we get here in the first place? Roddy being jealous. It's perfect. Yep. It's fucking perfect. And that's how it has to be. But when is it going to happen? Because they're going to have a tag team match, so we know it's not going to happen at until either during that tag match, somewhere on the show.
I'm just thinking, because they don't really do a whole lot of talking segments in the middle of shows, right? Like there isn't really interviews. Like they just typically go like match. Sometimes on to the next one. Here's a story recap. All right, now here's this match story recap. Because if they have any sort of a talking segment, I could see where after they lose the tag match, something goes wrong there. Then they have it right there at Wembley to make their match later in the night more intense because now they're mad at each other. So that would seem to make the most sense, but they don't really do a lot of talking segments. If not, it should be done right after Wembley.
Right? I think it should be done at Wembley. I think they should have the match. I think that they should lose the tag team title match. I do think that MJF. So what if we do it where MJF takes the pin again and he blames himself. And then, you hear Adam Cole say, man, like to Roddy, man, he lost 2 matches in a row or something like that. Right.
Yeah.
And then, so they go, MJF plays it cool, gets to the ring. Adam Cole, he has no idea that MJF knows that he heard that. And like somewhere it happens in the finish where he gets the ring out. He punches Adam Cole with it, pins him, whatever, 1, 2, 3. He's like, you motherfucker, you talk shit about me. It's like, that's where you see the aggression. And he turns heel again, not because of the fans he hates them, not because of any evil action, because he thought he was betrayed, which is the perfect villain. The best villain thinks that they're right and they're good and that they were betrayed.
Yeah.
So that's what MJF has to do. Tony, are you listening? Like, that's it.
That's the way it should be done. It's the way it's got to be done. Because if it's just a Adam Cole turn on MJF, I don't want that for sure. It's got to be MJF on Cole, but not in a for no reason. He's got to have a reason. There's got to be some good motive behind it.
Jealousy.
Jealousy would be perfect.
So there's 6 matches booked. Well, one's a pre-show match, so 5 matches booked. There's so many other people I want on this card, but so many. I don't want a 10-match card. I don't want it. I just sat through SummerSlam, and it was almost 4.5 hours, and I fell asleep because it was so long.
Yeah.
I heard the main event was awful, the worst Bloodline performance of all time. It's like, I don't want that for Wembley. I'm buying this show. I want to have fun. Yeah. So that's kind of why they have to do these tag matches like Kenny Omega and Jericho. You have to, or what? You can't have that. You're going to split that into 2 different matches, and that takes away from where's going to be where's Adam Page? Where is Miro? Like I said, where's the House of Black? Where's the Death Triangle? Like where do all these people fit in? Because you can't have a match for everyone.
Nope.
Is Chris Statlander going to be there?
There's going to be a lot of people missing off the card for sure. But I would rather have a shorter card, though, because like you said, it'd be miserable if they do some 12-match card or something.
So, I mean, is Darby and Sting really a draw? Probably not, but I think they're going to put them on there. I'd rather see, where's Sammy Guevara in this match? He's an original, from the day one. Where's he wrestling?
Yep.
Is he? Do they have a JAS versus Don Callis' team? Maybe they just do a whole, 5-on-5 or 3-on a trios match. I don't know. Something you have to have these big matches on these big events, because if not, you just have one battle royal, one Slim Jim battle royal, and then a bunch of long ass boring matches. Yeah.
No, thank you. I don't want the big battle royal. No, just give me some really good matches. Give me like 8 good matches, maybe 1 or 2 on the pre-show, which you can choose to watch or not watch.
I'm gonna watch. Everyone has to watch. That's the thing. Tony Khan made it so you have to watch the pre-show. Yeah, and he also made it where because every pre-show match sucks in the history of the world. Besides, I think the Dark Order, House of Black had a match with the Death Triangle one time on a pre-show, and it was the best match of the night. Yeah. Do you remember that? Yeah, I know you watched it. We talked about it. Yes.
I don't know. I'm saying I don't remember it. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I just don't remember it. Like, I couldn't tell you which pay-per-view it happened at.
Yes. So, hey, Chris, I'm going to go ahead and cut this, not short, because we have given you guys good content, but I really don't want to bring up Lufisto and the negativity around the women's division, because honestly, what's it going to do? It's almost a week old at this point. Yeah. Everything's said that's had to be said. If you want to go research or watch it or whatever, just go on Twitter. Collision's
We're
great.
About that next week.
What?
Collision.
Yeah, but it's great. I just want to let everyone know, watch it. Chris doesn't have to remind me anymore. I watch it every weekend anymore. So
good. Then right now, I'm going to go ahead and turn off my alarm. No more reminding Josh about Collision.
You don't have to, because I actually enjoy watching it. I enjoy watching Collision. It's the best wrestling show on TV weekly. The only downside of Collision is sometimes it could be taped, and the other downside is there's no Kenny Omega and the Elite.
It's not taped very often. I looked it up, and there's, as of right now, there's always tickets for sale on a Saturday night, other than the one right before the All In pay-per-view. That one will be pre-taped.
Okay, good. That's good news then. All right, we're gonna get out of here. Follow us on Twitter, our X at Josh Kimmel LUS, at RTW Chris. No technical difficulties the rest of the show. We made it like clean.
Yep.
It was just that one bump, man, in the run in. Your dog didn't bark this time.
Not yet.
Your dog didn't bark this time.
No one's come up to my door this time. I've been watching. I have the window open. I keep looking every time someone walks by, but it's just people walking their dogs or something. So no one's coming up to the door like a couple weeks ago.
Nice. But Chris, before we get out of here, anything else you want to say or add to the conversation? Maybe Tony Khan come back to Tampa more often?
Absolutely. Tampa, he needs to come back. I saw that people were saying that we were leaving early, and as two people that were there, we can definitively say that was not true. People were not headed out early.
No, people were not headed out early until Tony Khan said, stick around for Rampage. And then we all left.
Yeah. I mean, people even stuck around for about 30 minutes after the show. So don't believe those reports. We did not leave early.
I watched the whole damn Sheeta match. Peace out.
See ya.